Can you tell me what your family went through while in China?
It was quite an adjustment. My mother, both my parents really came from very well-to-do families, so going from having everything, and especially even on the ship ride over, first class, and then having zero, nothing, and then finding out that their luggage didn't get to them either, and that it won't ever get to them, and then trying to find a place to live. They finally found a place in I don't even know the name of it, but it was like a coulee type house, and they were on the top floor, and the steps were really narrow and very steep, and they lived in one room, the three of them, and everything was done in that one room. Life was, really, really difficult. I mean, I can't imagine I don't know how I would survive in that. So I really admire them that they could survive in that, and that they could look towards tomorrow and just live from day to day knowing that something would come.
What was the relationship between you and your sister, given that she had shared the experience with both your parents?
She was like my second mom. She always took care of me. She was wonderful. She was just like, she always wanted to comfort me, always make sure that I was happy. At my birthday, she went, and so if I was 6 years old, then she was 18 years old. And she was already working, and she must have spent her whole paycheck on my birthday one year. I mean, there was just all sorts of presents. I mean, I was just so excited that she got me all these things. And my poor sister had to endure a lot with me. Being the bratty little kid that we shared a closet. I was always into her things, like she'd have senior ball gowns or dresses, for going, and I was always putting them on like costumes. And I can remember that she'd get upset at me. I remember also scribbling in her books, getting into her makeup. She just had to endure a lot. And then when she met my brother-in-law and started dating him and going out, she'd have to take me on their dates with them sometimes. So I can't imagine that. She was just always very giving. And then when I got older, like when I was from 16 to maybe 30, that was a difficult time for us because I wanted to be treated as an equal. And she didn't see me as an equal yet. So that was a little rift in our relationship. And now we're very, very close.
You mentioned on the trip from Germany to Shanghai that everything was lost. They had the clothes on their backs. And
they didn't even know that it was lost yet.
So they didn't. From Shanghai to San Francisco, what did they bring with them?
Their one trunk that they had. So that was their one trunk of possessions that they took from Germany to Shanghai. So there were probably blankets maybe in there. I don't know really what was all in there. Papers. I don't know. Pictures from there were pictures in there because from my dad's family and from my mom's family, and he was very much into sports. He was supposed to go to the Olympics in 1936, so he was a big track star. So he had lots of pictures from that. So there were pictures from Germany.
Wow. What have you done personally to ensure that people remember this event?
I'm never shy to tell the story. New friends that I make. Yeah, if you're Jewish, people already think of you, well, you're different. And I guess I go after that with a relish because I am different, and I do have something to share, and I do have something to tell people that they know what happened. Because most people don't know what happened. And most people wouldn't even think of meeting anyone that went through it or knew of someone that went through it. So usually people are very fascinated with what they hear.
knowing that a large portion of your family has gone through this, how was your life impacted?
A portion of my family went through it. A portion of my family, a large portion of my family, didn't make it through. All there is in my family, in my parents' family, is my father, my mother, my sister, and now myself. I have no grandparents because my mother's parents passed away before Hitler, but my father's parents, they didn't survive that. And a lot of the relatives that were there didn't survive either. So that's makes a big impact on me. And I wish I had a larger family, but I'm glad that I have 3 grandkids and 3 great nieces and nephews that I can share this with.
Yeah. If you could remember anything that your parents told you revolving around what happened, what do you think would have been the most memorable thing that clung to you that they have said?
I think I'm going to go with something that was happy and showed future. When they came through the Golden Gate, and their ship came through on an early morning in June, and the sun was just rising and it was beautiful. And my mother and father standing shipboard, and my mother's saying, "I don't ever want to leave here." And my father saying, "We're never going to leave here. If I could support us in China, I will support us here. And we will live a very happy life." That's what I cling to.
Closing question. As I've said before, if you could send any message to a generation like mine, Suzanne's, what would that be?
Read and see as much as you possibly can on the Holocaust. Know what was there. And not just the Holocaust, other places in the world now, what's happening. I mean, there's a lot of places in the world we don't know what's happening. We should know more what's happening. We shouldn't close ourselves off. Have to always be open.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
How did the absence of an extended family affect you?
Quite a bit. All my friends had aunts and uncles and cousins and, most important, grandparents. I didn't have any grandparents. I didn't have any cousins. I didn't have any aunts or uncles. And I felt that I remember talking to my mom about that, saying that's just not fair. She says, "You should be happy that we're here, that we're alive, and that you have your life." So that's pretty much stuck with me. So I'm very fortunate that we have our one daughter, and our one daughter has given us 3 grandchildren. And so our family grows a little more and more. My sister has 2 daughters, and they've given her grandchildren. So our family grows together, and I'm trying to keep us strong and keep us together.
Did what happened to your family affect how you were raised?
Absolutely. They wanted me to experience all the things I could experience, yet on the other hand, my parents were very protective. They wanted everything, they wanted nothing but the best for my sister and myself. They also wanted us to be very proper and never do anything. I was such a straight arrow, such a straight arrow. And my sister was a straight arrow. My sister wanted to go to beauty school and become a beautician. They wouldn't allow that. You don't become a beautician. So she couldn't do that. And me, I wanted to be on stage. From the time I was 8 years old, I went to an organization called San Francisco Children's Opera. And I was always on stage. I did commercials, I did voiceovers. In high school, I got a scholarship to Humboldt State for drama. But I couldn't take it. My parents wouldn't allow it. Because drama is not, they did not want me to go into that. That was not a life for me. That I would be opening myself up to too many problems and unsavory people, and situations they didn't think I would be able to handle. So.
All right. Thank you. There we go.